This is a picture of me. Hi there. Bonjour. My name is Tanya Saha. And this is my hospitality story. I hope you enjoy. Before I begin, I want to first take you back from our year of 2016 all the way back to the year of 2009, so almost 7 years ago. In 2009, this was me. I was a very small girl. And I had a big sister, and her name was Tenny. And she was in high school. And in high school, she needed to complete 40 hours of community service. But Tenny had no idea where she was going to do this. One day, Tenny began walking along the street and she stumbled across the Good Shepherd Family Center. It was very good that the Good Shepherd Family Center is right beside the development office. There, she was able to find Marilyn, and after talking with her, she was very interested in volunteering with Good Shepherd. So she asked Marilyn if she could volunteer, and Marilyn graciously said yes. And that's how my story with Good Shepherd begins. Then on every Friday, Tennessery would head over to the Good Shepherd Family Center where she would volunteer at the Toy Lending Library. The Toy Lending Library was similar to a library where you could borrow dolls, cars, books, blocks, and borrow them for a week. The children of the family center, who sometimes didn't come with any toys, were able to access. Every Friday, Tenny would come home with a huge smile on her face, telling me about all the fun she had. As a younger sister, I always wanted in. Tenny continued to volunteer for the next 3 years, so let's fast forward a little. In 2012, Tennessery was going away on an overseas trip. Tennessery was very upset and worried to what would happen to the Good Shepherd Toy Lending Library. The kids really appreciated the service, and so did the parents. I immediately jumped in on this opportunity when she was discussing it, as one, she loved it there and I wanted to see what it was all about, and two, who doesn't like working with kids? So that summer, I joined the Toy Lending Library. Obviously, it needed a bit of a name change, so it had to be changed to Tanya's Toy Lending Library. So that summer, I got to play with kids. We read a lot of books. We got to build a lot of structures. It was really a fun experience. After Tenny came back from her overseas trip, me and her both ran the Toy Lending Library for the next year. It was really fun working together as a team and having a really great time together. When the summer rolled around that year, I had grown up a little bit and it was time for me to get a job. So I sent an email to Marilyn stating that I might have to leave. She came up with a great idea. She has told me to apply for a summer job as a housing advocate. Well, with a little bit of Tanya magic, I was hired. This summer, I had the lovely opportunity to work under the housing advocate Grace. Yes, this is how much she was bigger than me, and she wore a lot of lovely skirts. This summer, I learned a lot. I learned about landlord-tenant rights, evictions, access to housing applications, social justice, homelessness, addictions, substance abuse, mental health, refugee, immigration, disability. Ontario Works, Ontario Disability Support Programs, Young Moms, and much, much more. It was a very enriching experience. This was also a very difficult period in my life. It was a very upsetting and sad time for me as well as the rest of my family, as my father suddenly passed away. It could have been made worse if it weren't for the employees of the Good Shepherd Family Center coming together one by one to support me in this difficult period. They were always there for me, and one phrase that they always repeated that brought me a lot of comfort and warmth was them saying that we are going to be here for you. That is what got me through this very hard time in my life. They truly taught me by first experience the mission statement of availability, hospitality, flexibility, adaptability, and dignity. This summer of learning and grief taught me what it means to be a Good Shepherd employee. On one hand, everyone is an advocate. They're an advocate for their clients as well as employees in order for everyone to reach their goals. As well, everyone is very empathetic to the clients and to employees. Everyone truly cares for each other and treats everyone as a person as well as how they would like to be treated in return. After returning to volunteering at the Toy Lending Library for a year, I decided to send off an email to Marilyn to see if there was any job opportunities available where I could join, because I wanted to become more a part of the team. This is how I landed at the Good Shepherd Notre Dame House, which services homeless youth. It was initially a daunting experience because I had never worked with youth, but I was very excited at the opportunity and ready to jump in to this new experience. Thankfully, I got hired. I was able to use the skills that I had learned at the Family Center as well as from Grace to make an impact at the Notre Dame House. I was able to help kids that were facing suicidal ideations. I was able to help them with their homework, as well as getting housed or applying to jobs. I was also able to connect them with mental health clinicians and addictions workers, as well as encourage them to overcome their addictions. I was also able to help people get new identifications, or even lead some cooking groups and baking groups to have. With that said, as much as I was able to give to the Good Shepherd family, they also gave me a lot in return, and I wouldn't be the person that I am today without their support. Good Shepherd has given me a lot of skills based on the trainings that they have sent me. They've given me a lot of experiences by hiring me into these roles and allowed me as well as my sister to volunteer within this organization. They've taught me a lot about social justice. I've made great friends within this organization, and I've had a lot of fun. Good Shepherd has been very hospitable to me. It has allowed me to grow as a person through the volunteer and employment opportunities. It has allowed my sister to volunteer in the Toy Lending Library and has supported my family during very difficult periods in my life. It is because of Marilyn, who had faith in my sister and me to volunteer within the organization. It is because of Grace and Loretta, who've hired me on as housing advocates and youth support workers, respectively. It is because Good Shepherd has had faith in my family and has faith in people that this is my hospitality story. Thank you and merci to Good Shepherd for being hospitable to your clients, to your employees, and to your volunteers.